On the top right of Frost Ladder Edition, our red Protoss player, Tim, who is a new face for me. Excited to see how he plays.
In the bottom right of the map, we have his opponent in the green. Also Protoss, Clanix D, Oxygen.
Our very own Oxygen, which if you are watching and you didn't find out this early, I mean, we've got Oxygen in the chat right here with us to give you live commentary on his own playstyle.
More or less. So, I was going to say...
Or to make excuses about his mistakes. We'll see what happens.
In GSL, there was one day when somebody held up a sign in the audience that said, TVT is chess, PvP is poker. And I can't remember what they called Zerg. Exactly.
That's like a pretty accurate description, though.
It's I'm inclined to call it chaos.
Yeah.
Or a brawl, just a straight up fist fight, because that's what it feels like when you watch it most of the time.
And when you lose, you're discouraged. You never want to play again.
But I've always thought the poker comment for PvP is incredibly accurate. I mean, this matchup is all about hiding things from the other guy, tricking him. Tricking him. There's very little straightforward things you can do. Even Rain, the most straightforward of the straightforward Protosses, does not play straightforward against another Protoss.
Unfortunately, that's just how it works, man. That Protoss. ZVZ is a knife fight, according to Foss.
Oh yeah, that's right. So brawl would be pretty close to it. But yeah, that is what it did say on that sign. And it is the best description of the mirror match, I think. Chess, TVT usually does feel like chess, although it can get wonky. Yeah. But
definitely when you're moving tanks around and stuff like that, it's all about positioning. Very very mechanical.
So Oxy's gotten off the faster scout. That's always a big advantage in this, just because this probe...
Tim doesn't see the gas. Tim, get closer, Tim. There he goes. Okay.
He will. Yeah, he will. He's got more than enough time. Like, the only thing that can be really bad here, and I honestly say that this was a bit of a guess on his part. He pretty much, if you look at the scouting pattern, Tim just kind of assumed it wasn't cross spawn.
Yeah.
And just went straight to the bottom right, which worked out in his favor. He got there in time to see that, there wasn't a total lack of any gas at all. He didn't see a forge. Okay, cool. I can go back home. Kind of. He does. Oh, he's kind of right outside of proxy pylon now. Oh.
Will he catch that? He is so close. Tim, just move a foot to the north. And no.
Here's the crazy thing. Oh, what?
Oh, and now he sees it. Okay, now he sees it. What does he react to it? I don't know.
So apparently the vision radius of a pylon is slightly larger than that of a probe. Because the probe actually blinked into the vision radius of the pylon a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And then the probe didn't actually see it.
Interesting.
Oh well. I always learn something when you're watching this.
Warp gate is being chrono boosted. We have 2 fully loaded assimilators here. And the Robo. So are we going to see a 3-gate Robo?
I would say that's most definitely the case. I mean, there's really no reason to be chrono boosting out Warp Gate otherwise. You can do it. The only other time you would do it is if you're going for DTs, which clearly he's grabbing a Robo.
It almost looks like Oxygen. I mean, he's got his Robo down as well, and he's just put down a second gateway. So it's almost identical. He was a little bit behind on the gas timing, but we'll see if he starts putting the chrono boost into the Warp Gate here. If not, Tim will have his Warp Gate finished quicker.
This strike seems more the defensive variant of this. I mean, he might try to pressure forward, but
he's actually going for the observer first instead of the.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be the difference there.
So he's trying to be safe against potential DT play, which is fine, all things considered, but it is going to give Tim a pretty nice advantage. The only thing that can change this is what they decide to do on top of the Immortals. Because it's never just Immortals. It's going to be Immortal Archon, it's going to be Immortal Stargate, maybe Immortal Colossus. That one's a little bit rare, but...
Immortal Sentry? No. The
That's PvZ. That's PvZ.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers!
So what are you going to force field?
Exactly. You're going to trap everything.
You're going to trap all the ranged units within range of your units? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you will see some sentries, if nothing else, than for Guardian Shield. But it's... Okay, here we go. He's going to move out right now. that observer did its job.
He caught the
Presume he
support,
saw that.
didn't catch any of the units.
Well, the pylon's gonna do the rest. Not the supply block oxygen. So it's another one pretty quick.
He's getting out his first immortal too.
No,
Yeah,
it did supply block.
yeah, we do see
Barely.
3 sentries here with the immortal and 3 stalkers. Meanwhile, we've got a couple zealots, 1 sentry, a couple of stalkers as well, and
So
the
a little-
first immortal almost out.
I'm a little concerned with the positioning here. There you go. I was like, you need to have this sentry right on the ramp here because pretty much this is going to be a stalemate. Both parties are going to stare at each other from across the way and be like, if you come down the ramp, I'll force field you. If you come up the ramp, I'm going to force field you. And whoever does that first is going to be in trouble unless the other guy isn't watching.
Yeah. And
Oh, he's going straight for it.
here we go. Ooh,
And yeah, he doesn't want to try.
definitely
No?
does not want to push up there just yet, but we do have vision from the mothership core and an extra immortal. So
There's the force field. Only traps one in the zealot though, and
loses his mothership core, so he doesn't have the high ground vision anymore.
focusing on overcharge to try and keep the units there was probably a little bit of a waste of energy. But if nothing else, it's going to keep them from walking over there for a little bit while I get some more warp ins.
Meanwhile, Oxygen and that observer have complete vision of what's going on right now.
He's made it
is
down.
thin.
Needs guardian shield on top of that. There you go.
He does take out that first immortal. No,
It's going to make a big difference. Pushing the stalker count down to 0.
Ooh, Tim's
Take
up
out
there.
that last sentry.
Just showed up just in time, but it is going to take it. Get taken out. Get taken out as well. So Oxygen OP.
OP.
Able-
Oxygen. Sorry, but yeah, he's pushed it back pretty hard. Zealot's actually very incredibly effective against immortals just because they don't get any of that damage reduction from hardened shields. And he's gonna maybe
Survives. He survives.
He'll survive and looks like they're gonna fall back.
The immortal truly is immortal.
Oh, look at that. There's a gas probe hanging down here. Now let's look back up at the gases. Hey, there's the gas. There's a worker missing from the gas in the main base. I wonder how that happened. Oh dear. Well, everybody does it sometimes.
So we do see the expansion from Oxygen and the follow-up expansion from Tim. Now, I don't know if the first player to expand will lose this game. I think right now it's going in Oxygen's favor.
Good, he did pick up on the little probe thing. I was going to say, if he forgets that will actually probably decide it. But thankfully not. 1/6 of all your gas production. But he's got that. They're both it's pretty much, we're heading straight into a 2-base situation here. Now, one thing that popped up in a PVT daily recently.
Real quick though, the difference right now about the transitions is we have the Stargate from Tim and the Robo Bay from Oxygen. So Oxygen going for Colossus, and Tim probably going into Void Ray.
That's what I would say. I mean, I found that to be an incredibly effective transition, even when you're slightly behind. If you can get the 4 Void Rays against a Robo player, he has almost nothing to stop you.
Yeah.
But if you get hit before you get more than 1 or 2 Void Rays, you're really fragile, and you'll probably die.
That could, yeah, I mean, that could possibly happen here. Look at this.
Yeah.
The positioning from Oxygen is very evident that he's feeling aggressive right now. We have just a couple stalkers here, or 3 stalkers and a couple of immortals, 1 heavily damaged, and 1 Void Ray just about out. I think this would be more than enough to handle this, especially with the Mothership Core to back this up. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. He outnumbers him with the Immortals and has at least a bit more Stalkers as well. He'll be able to take care of that 1 Void Ray. Here we go. And
okay.
Void Ray.
Just good time warp. No way those Immortals gonna be able to get out of there.
Didn't quite get the Void Ray, it was so close. But yeah, the Immortals are going to make quick work of the Nexus as well.
Void Ray falls.
Yeah.
Just have photon overcharge, but it's not going to be enough. Nexus is going to go down. Probes aren't soon thereafter.
What do we learn from this? Don't expand, Tim.
Well, they both did. I mean, at the end of the day, I actually liked Tim's decision making there, but it didn't have anything to keep him back at home. I mean, if there was, like, say, an Oracle or something floating about, that could have looked a little different. But it's difficult to say in the situation. The point is, Oxygen call is 1. Like I said, it's all basically poker. You try to not get attacked for a while you build some Void Rays, and you try to hide the Void Rays from your opponent. He comes over and attacks you anyway. You can do it.
Oxygen dropping the third base behind this push as well. Just to solidify the lead, and there's the GG. Well played from Tim. So very well done, Oxygen, taking away game 1. And so, what was your... what were you going to say about a recent daily about something?
Oh yeah, it was PVT. Whenever you have the vertical positioning, storms are incredibly strong because you have to kind of walk through them. Can't really dodge them.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, obviously not going to be a factor there. Storm does eventually show up in PvPs. It can, anyway. Usually it's used more, I think, more for drop harassment than anything else. Just because it's like not that effective against things that aren't zealots, really. But it can show up from time to time. It's actually great. No, wait, I take that back. It's great against Void Rays, actually. Because they'll clump up on top of the storm and all take damage from it.
Yeah, they're kind of like flying cows as far as their handling goes. Void Rays.
That's a good way of putting it.
All right, so game 2 between Tim and Oxygen will be played on Overgrowth. Let's get into this here. Wonder if we're going to see the one base play again. I mean, that's one of those things that I kind of enjoy about PvP is the huge variety of one base play you can do against each other. And all right, so here we are spawning on the bottom left side of Overgrowth. We have our red Protoss player Tim, who's behind 1 game in this series.
Top right, we have his opponent, green Protoss, who's done a good job solidifying obtaining a lead in this series. It is Clan XD's Oxygen.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, that last game we saw the transition out of Tim into Stargate, Oxygen into Colossus. He never actually made the Colossus because his Immortal push was so devastating. But very well done by Oxygen. Let's see if he can recreate that here in game 2. A little bit of a different map. I'd say it's not quite as big as Frost.
No, it definitely isn't. This is actually probably close to the smallest map in the map pool right now. I'm not sure really how large it is relative to King Sejong Station. I know the rush distance on this is a little bit smaller though.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, yeah, this is going to be the map where you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff, I think, until people figure out where all the hiding spots are.
Yeah.
Now, well, yeah, I mean, like I said before, I think that was a good decision on Tim's part, but Oxygen saw it coming, and he dealt with it exactly the right way. If he had waited, if he had tried to build up to a big army, he would have had a big army that mostly couldn't shoot the Void Rays, and that's what would have been fatal to him. It's one of those things that doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it, because you're like, oh, when you're ahead, get ahead. That sometimes doesn't mean expanding in this context. That's the funky thing about PvP.
PvP is such a volatile matchup as well. Pretty crazy here. We have the first gas for Oxygen done, as well as for Tim. Cyber Core going down for Tim, likely to follow here for Oxygen very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
There it goes.
So that means their tech progression, if they're both putting down buildings as fast as they can, is going to be different by about 20 seconds or so. Not necessarily going to be... Oh, wait, no, only by about 5. Not about 5. I misinterpreted what you were saying. But still, Proxy Pylon going down. These are all... The thing is, these are good to have no matter what you do in this matchup. So we can't necessarily say what that's going to be just yet. Except that Tim is...
Got a second gateway there.
He's not grabbed a second gas. There it is. I was going to say, that's usually a sign of a 4-gate. Almost inevitably, actually.
Let's see if he starts chrono boosting out that warp gate. Looks like he actually canceled it.
Canceled it? What?
Weird. Not really sure.
Okay, I would be super confused, but if I saw this, I would probably 4-gate somebody. Like almost immediately. I'd be like, okay, what are you doing? You're gonna try and hit me with something real fast, aren't you? Of course, that's...
Well, maybe he decided not to research it so that the probe here wouldn't catch that.
It could be.
Because he ended up dumping the gas into the stalker, or perhaps the mothership core.
That's incredibly risky. Well, let's see if it comes back. I mean, No. I wonder if he's just trying to get something else back. Yeah, Twilight Council. Okay. No, that's Oxygen. I don't know what Tim's doing.
That was really...
an expansion. Okay.
Interesting. The 2-gate, I mean, the double gas into the expansion, that's a little funky. Maybe he just decided to change it up on a whim, considering that, okay, we have a Stargate.
Alright, so he's going to try and cover the expansion with either an Oracle or some Phoenixes. Maybe both, if he can get it. That's usually when people do this, that's what they're trying to accomplish. And yeah, he doesn't really need Warp Gate I don't know why he's Chrono Boosting that. I guess he's on something. I would prefer probes in this situation, because you're not actually going to use the Warp Gate for attacking here.
Yeah, we have the first 2 Stalkers out, taking care of one of those probes. I'm going to do a little bit of scouting as well. A total of 3 gates right now for Oxygen. So it looks like we're going to see something probably pretty similar to
Dark Shrine.
Saw from... Oh, you think so?
Oh, it's right there.
Duh. Okay, yeah. It's right there.
I mean, I'm sorry, man, but
No.
what can I say?
Exactly. No, I wish I would have caught that. I made a fool of myself, though. I thought he was going to possibly go into Blink.
Here's the bizarre thing, is that there's actually no proxy pylon, so this is going to hit way later than it normally would. Unfortunately, Tim is not grabbing an Oracle, so no detection. Okay, this could go very bad.
Void Rays are pretty damn powerful, though. You gotta remember that.
Oh, absolutely. But if you run out of all your money, then
wait,
it's gonna get bad for you.
Built a second Stargate and canceled it.
I have a feeling we're seeing Tim experiment with something he hasn't usually tried before.
Tim seems a little bit unsure.
Yeah, he's waffling a little bit on what you think he'd be doing at this precise moment. But yeah, this isn't necessarily a bad move.
So
but
all of these warp
needs detection
boosted as well, even though they're not really. Oh, okay. So we did have the proxy pylon down there on the bottom right. 2 DTs are on their way.
There we go.
The mothership core is just chilling there. Gonna lose
he's gonna lose a lot here. The question is, how much can he minimize the damage? So far, he's lost 3 in the bottom right. And if he's not paying attention to this mineral line up at the top left, it's going to get really, really bad.
This is absolutely awful. I mean, just getting hit in the face with some DTs is just not fun. You know, it's one of those things that if you don't see the Dark Shrine, you're not going to be ready for it.
Just Chrono Boosting out the Oracle. Again, it's how much damage can you avoid taking. And
I really think it's
already too much, actually.
Yeah, it's too late at this point. I'm pretty sure the game's over.
The only thing that could happen is if he can shut down the DTs hard enough from here and not lose any more workers, he still has the second base over his opponent. He can reproduce those really, really, really quick. The problem is he can keep sending them in here after he loses energy on this Oracle, so he's going to need some more permanent detection pretty soon. You can even see him trying to run it away as fast as he can.
The Forge is just about finished, but at the same time, Oxygen's own Nexus is about done, and he also has the worker advantage. So once he's splits his workers up a little bit, he will have the income advantage. But it looks like Tim's just going to push. And,
yeah, this is not necessarily a bad choice, except that I don't know if he has enough Void Rays to actually deal with that. Detection, go back home.
Close.
Don't lose your detection.
I mean, he's got 2 Void Rays, but yeah, I mean, like you were saying, it might not be enough, especially with this huge amount of Stalkers he's got.
I think, personally, I feel against DTs, you either really need a bunch of different detection units or cannons, because if you don't have something to keep detection at home, they'll just wait for you to leave your base and send in another DT.
Yeah.
Nice position for Photon unit, actually.
And we have Photon Overcharge on the Nexus, going to delay this push just a little bit. Air Weapons level 1 finished as well, but he already used his the Prismatic Alignment on the Void Ray, so that's not going to be useful at all in the next fight. I don't think it'll recharge in time.
Oh, actually, yes, it will. It's got another 30 seconds on it, and I think the Photon Overcharge has something similar.
Okay.
At least it should be pretty close, and if nothing else, I'll have another Void Ray. So if he can get to about 5 Void Rays, he can hold this off, actually, without taking too much damage.
Well, we're going to see here shortly, Prismatic Alignment just about done on the cooldown. We've got 1 second. There it goes.
He's actually just gonna run forward to engage. There's no protection here, so these stalkers are gonna be quite trouble for TTs once they actually get past the.
But he's not focusing down the void rates. He's using a lot of stalkers here.
No, he lost the Oracle. Well, he does have that cannon thing. Ooh, not enough. Yeah, still needed another one on top of that. But he does have a cannon up here. He's gonna be able to help out a little bit. He's gonna try and run up to the cannon and kill it. Might lose the DT. Nope.
Lost one of them. There's still one left and no detection, so I think this is game over for Tim. Pretty sure Oxygen is going to take this away here pretty shortly. Really not much Tim can do.
The DT is really just adding insult to injury at this point. I don't think he can actually even kill the army anymore.
Yeah.
It's just got to wait for him to process all that. Back up here, he's working a single zealot to check on if there's a natural at the top of the map. And there is a natural.
Don't worry about it.
Those probes are like, yeah, come up here, we dare you. No, he's just scouting. He's like, how dead am I? Oh, okay. I'm really dead.
Yeah.
Alright. There's even a stalker here poking at him.
Trying to get as much information as he can to figure out how he's not going to respond. There's GG.
GG, well played.
Alright. So Oxygen ahead 2-0 in the series.
It's looking good for Clanix D Protoss. I wonder if he has anybody else in that clan. I hope so. Good name.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is he still here?
I believe so. He was around when I announced that we were doing his series, and yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He did say he was laddering, so he might not be paying attention. That's okay. We can go into game 3 here on Altrazim Stronghold. Very big map, possibly the biggest in the past several seasons we've had. And for that reason, I love it. Are we all ready?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do this.
Okay, game 3 between Tim and Oxygen. Played on Altrazim Stronghold Tournament Edition. It's a very nice portrait from Oxygen, too. The Abomination Marine.
A-Bomb Marine. What's that from?
I don't know. I know the Abomination's from Warcraft, but I don't know, like, where the copies of the two come from.
The portrait.
Oh, right, yeah, I'm not sure. So spawning on the left, the top left of this very big map, we have our Red Protoss player, Tim, who is down 2 games and needs to win this if he wants to continue on the series.
The bottom left of the map on Altrazim Stronghold. Just our Protoss, Clanix D's Oxygen. Looking pretty good so far.
So I think maps of this size are conducive to macro games, and I think the possibility of seeing cheese here, especially when you have that natural expansion right in your base, is definitely going to be a lot less.
It is minimized.
I think it kind of changes up the PvP matchup, especially.
It depends.
The distance that we have to go to.
Yes, it depends on 2 factors, in my view, which is first, do you scout your opponent right away? And second, are you going to use a Warp Gate based play? Because Warp Gate doesn't suffer from distance problems, like the way other cheeses do. Cheesy stuff involving Warp Gate, that is.
Yeah.
So there is that. The other thing too is that Oxygen's just been getting up here right away. And Tim can actually use that to deduce probably that he isn't getting cross spawns.
Yeah.
If he's aware enough about the timings. Still, though, you are correct. I mean, I think this map more than others can create those games, and some of the crazier ones I've seen in the GSL actually included one game where these 2 Protosses couldn't kill each other for a really long time. Mm-hmm. So they actually got to a late game tech, and their late game tech of choice was Mass Archon Colossus.
Interesting.
And they had it like all planned out, the exact number for both that they thought would make it a really dominating strategy. and it was interesting to watch. I mean, I think that came from one group in Code S that was all Protosses. It was Group C, I think, in round of 16, something like that. It's a good game to watch.
Well, on the right side of the base here, we have Proxy Pylon from Oxygen just about finished. And the double gas out of Tim. Oxygen still on 1 gas.
Well, so yeah, it's going for the more traditional opening. Whoa,
Yeah.
wait, this is quite long, actually. You would almost always get a second gas by now, again, unless you're foregating.
Actually, it looks like he's going to go for the natural expansion here. And he took the gas probe off it.
Interesting.
So probably
So
just a
it is
little
just
mistake.
It's the fast expand build then.
Yeah.
All right.
But gotta have that proxy pylon just for any reason, like you were saying. It's good to have the second gateway down for Tim. So Tim actually doesn't know where his opponent is. He hasn't chrono boosted this warp gate just yet. He's got 25 energy now, so maybe it's coming soon. That'll tell us whether he's actually going into the 4 gate or not. It's going to be pretty interesting here. Oh, no, he's going to go for the. Looks like he's going to go for the base.
So Tim's actually done no scouting whatsoever, I think.
None. Yeah, he has no idea where his opponent is. No idea about that proxy pylon there.
So, what? Yeah, or like it looks like he's gonna go for another expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna see some mid-game-ish stuff. That's pretty cool. Pretty unusual as well.
You know, it's kind of interesting, you know, when you go with the double gas and then into the double gateway, into the expansion. You know, you're going to have a lot of extra gas sitting around. You know, where would you put that?
And
As opposed towards sentries to you know, to try to deter all-ins of the sort. You know, because you can just wall off the ramp. But it almost seems like it's just too much of an investment to make it worth it.
it probably isn't the most efficient way of doing it, though. I think in our two players' cases, it's probably going to come out kind of in the wash over time. One thing I will say, though, is that the pylon that Oxy put down was a second pylon on 16. Usually, that's kind of only done when you're proxying something, just because if they catch that one pylon out there, you're so badly supply blocked.
It's like he's actually putting down a photon cannon. He might be you think he's a little bit of afraid of those Dark Templar?
You know, yeah, he very well might be. This is actually a little bit... Oh, okay, I see what he's trying to do. He's having that as a precaution, and then he's going to go for Protoss Air, because the DGs are very strong against that air opening. I don't know if this blunts the timing too much, though, because, I mean, it is 150 minerals away from their first Stargate. Doesn't matter, though, as it looks like both players are going to be sitting passive for now.
Yeah, we have a bunch of gateways that just went down for Oxygen. A couple extra right here for a total of 3. He's actually going for the Templar Archives. That's going to be interesting.
Templar Archives. So, I wonder, is Zealot Archon maybe? Nah, he's using way too much gas on sentries.
I wonder why that is. You know, if he expects something to be coming, you know, to be investing so heavily in these sentries right now.
Well, some numbers for you guys. If you want to do a constant force field of a ramp, you need 3 sentries to do that, and it needs to be like really perfectly timed. Getting a 4th one can give you the ability to do that without being really good.
Right.
So it could be that, but...
And he also just pushed his opponent and saw the photon cannon there with the scout zealot that he warped in up here. So we saw the photon cannon, saw the couple units here.
Militia Corps actually got the kill on that.
First Void Ray just about out.
So I think if Oxygen actually goes for the same ground-based strat, these Void Rays are going to be really good. I mean, Archons can get a lot of damage on them, but if there's enough, the Archons won't matter. Same with Storm, it's tough to do, because again, the Void Raying player, if he's careful, can actually just spread them out.
I think, yeah, he's definitely going for the heavy gateway army here. I mean, he's got High Templar warping in, no Psy Storm, so yeah, definitely going for the Archons. Also, Chrono boosting out that observer, so he's going to see what his opponent's up to. So, we're starting to really get up on that Void Ray production. Yeah, he's actually throwing in an Oracle. So that'll be interesting. But as we're saying, yeah, I mean, the difference between this game and game one, right, where we had a Stargate go down. It's just that at that point, Oxygen was being incredibly aggressive. He never really got to the point where he snowballed with the Void Rays. But now that he's able to sit back and do this, we'll definitely have a critical mass of those Void Rays. And sending out that first Oracle, what do we have that can deal with this? We've got an Archon. It looks like the Oracle is on a straight path to collide with that Archon. Moves around the back there. Looks like he's probably going to get a few kills with this.
Yeah, I mean, even if he responds to the army pretty quickly here, the Oracles, see how long it takes to get like 8, 9 kills. It's already grabbed 7. And he's going to be able to get out of there. He can bring the army over, and then the Oracle's just going to leave.
It's already paid for itself. That was so quick.
Even against pros, you can't stop that. Like, you can't bring it to 0 with an Oracle. It's always at least 4, almost.
Ooh, dude, do you see what we've got in production of the Stargates? We've got one Tempest and a Carrier.
Tempest Carrier.
But out of 2 bases. Okay. But he snuck the 3rd all the way on the bright side of the map, the top right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So this is fancy. I'm not sure how much of a fan I am of either of those 2 units in small numbers. I mean, Tempest can be okay, but I wonder if the Carrier is an error. That B key does sit next to that C key.
Very heavily. I mean, from Oxygen, we're seeing a lot of Zealots, and he's got the Archons as well. So definitely going for that Zealot Archon build. It looks like he might actually be pushing out now. Tim getting greedy. He dropped that 4th base over there on the right side as well. But, he doesn't have much that can shoot up. We've got.
To be honest, that was probably just a reaction to how many minerals he had.
Yeah.
I'd say at this point. Like, he's trying to spend all of his money through his Stargates, which you can't quite do because he doesn't have really enough gas. And now he's realizing that there are some gateways.
Yeah. Oxygen ahead in supply. That's probably due to the fact that he's got a lot of Zealots here, spending his minerals on these units. We have 4 Void Rays. 1 Carrier out right now.
1 Carrier, 1 Tempest.
I'm just interested to see how he can possibly hold this. I mean, again, there's not a whole lot that Oxygen has that can shoot up, but he might actually looks like he's backing out now. Really, I think if he actually engaged there, he could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a couple full energy force field carrying sentries up here. So if he tried to push into there, it's also possible that he could just lose a ton of Zealots and not really accomplish much.
Yeah. We also have the Archons that can break through the force fields, but as you're saying, I mean...
Yeah, it's like pushing into that is kind of scary. If it doesn't go well, everything dies, and then he's got a composition you can't do anything to.
Yeah.
So Oxy has determined that his opponent either does or doesn't have a 3rd. He has a 3rd somewhere else, or he doesn't have one at all, and he's like, fine, I'll get 1. Which is actually a very legit decision in this situation, I think.
He definitely doesn't want to get behind too much, especially because he was going for the push there, but decided not to. So what do? You naturally you would expand just to try to keep up. But obviously, he has no idea about those hidden bases over there. Perhaps he thinks that he's getting ahead because he didn't see that 3rd base there. So, that the mind games. He might get overconfident later on. We're seeing. We're seeing a lot of units come out.
He's hit 8 Void Rays, and I think in PvP, when you hit about 15, that's when it gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
Against other matchups, it actually is you have to get to a much higher number than that. But they do so much extra damage to basically everything that it's like, especially this composition in particular, they can focus down all the Archons really, really, really quickly just because of their damage output, and then there's nothing else to shoot at them.
Yeah.
What Stalker's going to do? Look at them? No.
Anusark's here quoting you in the chat. For
Yeah.
Tempest, you stare at it from very far away and you say, hey, this is very unfair.
Yeah, generally speaking, especially when they're shooting your workers from a long distance, you're like, oh, there's nothing I can do about that. Nothing at all, as Manbon very well knows.
It's a very slow process, but...
I'm only pointing that out because I played a mono battle with him once where he rushed Tempest and ran over to my base and shot me while I was trying to build carriers. And I was like, nothing I can do. I'm just gonna die. Because I'm sure he remembers that fondly. I do remember that the carrier thing was from a show match recently.
Yeah.
Got carriers, they look big and awesome, but they're all dying. Oh, the tragedy of the carrier player.
Scipio.
Most people are
shares
not
the sentiment.
Scipio. Yes, he should. Like, for every time I'm sure that he succeeds at that, there's a number of other times where he doesn't.
It's quite unfortunate because it's a very interesting, play style when you're like, oh hey, 2 bases, let's make carriers, and you're like, okay, I've got this big tier 3 unit, and 10 Marines could kill it. It's kind of unfortunate, and for that same reason, I don't really make battle cruisers ever. They're really not that good.
They're tough to get. I mean, they can be good with a lot of Ravens, but yeah, good luck getting to that.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really tough point to get to. But okay, so the Phoenix, the hallucinated Phoenix from Tim, does scout all these Archons. I think he knows he's sitting in a good spot here. He's got, how many carriers does he have? He has 2 carriers, 8 Void Rays, and 5 Tempests. Now Tempests aren't really going to be all that effective. I mean, they're definitely going to be provide some extra DPS, but they only do extra damage to massive air units, so they're not really going to do too much extra damage to the Archons. It's all going to be in the Void Rays and the carriers.
Mass Tempest is actually one of the strongest compositions you can make against most big things. Like, it's just that they can shoot from so far away.
Yeah, and
positioning is so amazing. They're like siege tanks in that sense. Except that obviously damage output completely different.
Yeah.
So this army is really scary looking, like this one that Tim has. And here we go.
Time we've got a lot of Archons here. They're at +2 attack. But we also have 2/2 on the air units, and here comes the engagement. We're gonna see a lot of things die here. The Zealots are just gonna stand around not knowing what to do.
Pretty much. I mean, they'll clean up the ground army, but then what are they gonna do? I mean, it's pretty much from there. All oxygen.
Dude, shit from oxygen. Oh man. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Oxygen.
Rough game.
Yeah. You engage and everything dies, and I guess that's all you can do.
I mean, at best, he could have tried to run the Zealots and to do some damage.
Yeah, but
I mean, who knows how well that would have done, though. Like, I don't think GGing there is wrong exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it might seem a little preemptive, but at the same time, I mean, really, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Realistically, that air army, like, even if he was able to start breaking things, it would come back home. There wasn't really that many Zealots left. They would clean it up.
So Tim not being eliminated there.
Nope.
Actually, this is like the first series of the night where we've actually progressed past the game 3. So
it's interesting. I wonder if this was recorded wrong on the bracket. For those of you that haven't checked yet, the bracket lists almost every match that has occurred as a 3-0. And I was starting to believe it after we were watching today, but suddenly, plot twist.
Dead Frog's claiming 3/3 battlecruisers are OP.
Probably, just like a mass carrier army, but again
not quite so OP against 3/3 Void Rays, unfortunately.
No, well, yeah.
Against everything else, yeah, it's pretty good, besides Tempest, I guess, yeah.
Oh, it is recorded there. I just missed it. Okay.
I'm actually going to take a quick restroom break, so... hand raises. May I go to the bathroom? I'm asking permission from you, Zero.
No. You need to sit there and drink more coffee.
Shit! I'm out! Going to the lobby, okay. Alright. Whatever, I'm going.
Oh, get out of here. Jeez. Oh.
That was, we're finally having a close series here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Happy. What a long game.
That it was. Give me just 1 sec.
Sure.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, Omega's on break now, so.
Cool. Should I pour more coffee?
Sure.
I gotta replace what I just expelled, you know.
Right. Right.
TMI. It's good.
Uh-huh. Oh. Just me in the chat. How's it going, chat? Got 14 people on right now. Very nice. The Anazarg, Fade, Banbon, all active right now. Miramosa. Several other people I'm sure have all tapped and are doing other things. Faust is away, not doing work. There's ZRQ. Nap time for a Manbon. Yeah, that's right. It's quite late right there. Say about what, 2 a.m., 3 a.m.?
Okay.
What's going on?
Not much, not much. Let's see here. Who we got? Yeah, man, Bond's mentioned the Mono Battle. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hangout, I don't think that starts for another hour and 15 minutes or so. It usually starts toward the end of the daily.
Oh, yes. Cup number 3, or if you want to go by actual cups, cup number 8.
Oh, so
wait, what?
if you're approaching the 500 mg state. For those of you who don't know, the way caffeine tends to work is the first thing it does is it goes after the receptors in your brain that say, I'm tired. And it says, no, you're not. And then the second thing it does, if you put enough of it in there, is it goes after the part of your brain that says, you're calm. It says, no, you're not. Then after that, it does a bunch of really weird things that most people don't find out about because they're not stupid.
Freaks.
Well, most of us, except for some people that have killed themselves and ended up in the hospital. But besides them...
Hey, one time Woodhouse consumed 20 cups of coffee on stream, so...
That's not that bad. I'm thinking about the people who drink a ton of energy drinks at once.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
That's dangerous.
I have to say, I actually quit drinking soda over a year ago.
To be honest, actually, it's not as dangerous as drinking a lot of espresso. There's a reason they serve it in tiny cups. It's got a ton of caffeine in it.
Yeah.
But standard coffee, yeah, you'll be fine. You'd have to drink like a bucket of it to hurt yourself.
Interesting thing. A friend of mine who used to drink, like, I don't know, 3 cans of Coke a day, stopped drinking soda and experienced, like, horrible, like, migraines.
Yep.
Due to withdrawals. And, you know, I thought that was strange because I used to drink a lot of soda. You know, back in high school, I'd drink, like, 2 or 3 cans of Mountain Dew every day, you know, possibly even 4. And about a year and a half ago, I just quit. I stopped. You know, I'm like, I don't need this. It's too expensive. And nothing ever came of it. You know, I never felt, you know, like I was addicted. You know, a lot of people claim they're addicted to caffeine. I stopped drinking coffee as well, obviously, because I just wanted to stop consuming caffeine just to see how it affected my body. You know, and a month later, you know, I was completely fine from the day I stopped. And I wonder, you know, it's interesting to see how, you know, different chemicals affect people differently. I wonder what actually determines that. Completely unrelated, but it's,
Oh, sure.
it's interesting.
It is an interesting conversation. It's funny, too, because most of the research on it that people have done seems to imply that the effects actually vary from person to person. Like, they're consistent in that the overall effect is that it makes you more awake.
Yeah.
And that you can get addicted to it. Like, that's consistent across the board.
Yeah.
So the amount varies from person to person, and it's not 100% clear why. It's kind of similar to alcohol in that sense.
And eventually, you know, I just said, you know, coffee just tastes too good. I don't feel like not drinking this anymore. So, you know, I don't drink coffee to, like, you know, every morning, you know, I would have, you know, a cup or so. Not too often anymore. I usually drink it at night. Not because it keeps me up or anything, just it's relaxing, it tastes good, and that's my sentiment at least.
My martial arts instructor was like that as well. Like, he didn't really he acknowledged all the side effects of the stuff. He's like, I just like the way it tastes.
Yeah, that's me.
It's really good. I
used to
can't
hate
stop drinking it.
And Anazark says you're so hyperactive you can find a Protoss observer without detection.
Oh.
All right.
So you can look at its shimmer and be like, scan die.
I know. Yep, yeah.
Increases your APM, I suppose.
APM injection.
Manbon is absolutely correct. Junk food and soda is less expensive than fruit and veg. It's true. But you know what? Ever since I quit drinking soda and drinking a shitload of water, water is definitely cheap. So that's a good substitute. But I live pretty much off of tuna fish, chicken, and bananas and apples.
Yeah, you're right, man, Bun. It's the reason why I feel a lot of people just eat the stuff. The other part of it, too, is that it doesn't require any preparation of any kind. Don't have to wash the outside of it. Don't have to, whatever you want to do with, if you want to chop it up or whatever. You don't got to do any of that.
All right, so we're in game 4, right? Who the hell pays £2.50 for 4 pairs?
Well,
roughly equivalent to $5, I'd say. That's
enough.
That's pretty
enough.
expensive.
Yeah, enough people. That's the answer.
Avocados are around the same way. I actually am a cashier at a grocery store. Avocados are like $1.50 each, and I hate avocados.
Yep.
Like fruit.
Somebody out there disagrees with you.
Also, there are Honeycrisp apples, are like the new rage in apples, and for a bag of them, it's $20. It's ridiculous.
Jeez.
And you get 7 apples in there. It's so stupid. They're like $8 a pound or something.
Wow.
All right, so we can get into game 4 here between Oxygen and Tim. And what are we sitting at? We're at a 2-1 in Oxygen's favor.
Okay, here we go. This is an interesting map for PvP. Oh, is it ever?
I'm excited for this one.
The ramps are actually not the most important part of this one at all.
So spawning here on the top left of King Sejong Station, our green Protoss player Oxygen up 2, or actually only up 1 game in the series for a total score of 2-1.
In the bottom right of the map, we have his opponent, the ever powerful and infamous Protoss air player, apparently, Tim. His name is Tim. Yes, Tim. Oh, who's the tyrant that rules the land? His name is Tim. Anyway, as you look to the either side of the main base here, you can proxy stuff there.
Dude.
You can proxy stuff in the corners. You can proxy stuff in the middle. You can proxy stuff on the bases. The bases are huge. Yes, this map is gonna be
proxy there. You can proxy everywhere.
Yes, you can. It's not just a Dr. Seuss sounding rhyme. This map is gonna be almost impossible to nail this stuff down on. We'll probably still see proxies on it that don't go scouted by pros, as long as it exists, I'd say. I mean, if we kept it around for a few years, they might be good enough at it to not fall prey to stuff. But that's the kind of thing it would take. This has actually got almost as many hiding spots, if not maybe some more, than Polar Knight.
And that is definitely something. I mean, that's definitely.
It's a thing.
It's
certainly a thing.
That is a very good statement. I mean, Polar Knight is one of those maps that has a bunch of crazy things going on, and if you can surpass that in hiding spots, it's quite impressive.
The other part of it too is the natural scout path doesn't have a Zellnagar watchtower on it anywhere, so the actual amount of space that you pick up on is even smaller than usual.
Those Zellnagars are way, super far away. But as you were saying, the last time we had a game on this map, they kind of cover those the S pathways.
Almost. They cover the side chunk of it. So there's still I think they're still good to have. I think they're still good to leave something on them.
Yeah.
Although on this map in PvP, I would actually be half inclined to actually proxy something on them, because people are not going to go out their way to go to those unless they have a very specific reason. Speaking of proxies, Tim's hiding a probe in the top of the map.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do with that. Maybe, I mean, he's got the double gas. So, I mean, he's got a second gateway there. But it's just a pylon for now.
It's just the way the minerals work out. You can pick up the second gateway before you pick up a Stargate or a Twilight Council, typically.
Okay.
So it's not anything weird just yet. What is weird is that he's using so much of his chrono boost on probes. You actually kind of want to save that if you're going to do anything cheeky.
Yeah, he's obviously not chrono boosting out that warp gate.
No.
He's got the third gateway. So, I mean, if this is going to be a 4-gate and he's not chrono boosting the warp gate, it's going to be a little bit behind there.
Interesting.
This is, he could still very well go for the 4-gate, but it's just going to be a little bit behind on the warp gate timings. Yeah, and there is warp, chrono boosting the warp gate, but at the same time, we have the robo out for oxygen. So if oxygen goes with the 3-gate robo, and we don't see a super quick 4-gate, I think once that immortal comes out, it's going to change the tide here into oxygen's favor.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give him like a little compositional edge, and it looks like Tim is just going to stick with basic ground units for now. I still haven't seen him pull out any specific tech, this is getting to the point where we need to be a little bit concerned, actually, because this is not something you typically want to do unless you're going for some kind of rush maneuver. And
he sees the probe, but he's walking away from it.
Oh, he didn't pick up on it in his vision.
It was in the vision, but not in the aggro range. So, how unfortunate. But
the unit saw it, but the commander did not. Therefore, they went home.
Tim's got over 400 minerals right now, so I'm wondering where that's
expansion.
Either the expansion or the fourth.
So 3-gate expand.
Gate.
And he doesn't see it. He did see a probe going down, maybe, but...
What about that pylon positioning down there? I mean, do you think that's kind of a vulnerable spot for that pylon?
You know what? I actually think that's pretty good. And the reason why I'd say that is because the engagement typically comes from this left ramp here.
Oh, yeah.
So if he does get into
flank.
an engagement right there, yeah, you can warp in on the other side of that. So I think that's okay. I would have liked a little further back maybe, just because that's going to... As soon as he notices that's there, that's going to die.
Yeah.
In a fight. But I like it anyway. It's interesting. I don't know if that's what he's intending to do here, or if he's just preemptively putting it there for the third, though.
Yeah. I mean, we have 2 immortals out right now, an observer on the way, and after that, a 3rd immortal. So, I mean, I think we're pretty obviously going to see a 1-base push from oxygen. I mean, this is definitely, definitely a sizable force he's got. Dropping down the 3rd gateway. Definitely going to be committing to this, I feel.
3 gateways. Yeah, it's again, it's well.
He's got the proxy pylon as well.
If Tim gets enough time, he can build up enough of an army to deal with this, and it's going to be mostly just in the form of zealots. He can get a lot of time.
He's also got his own robo out, which will be making an immortal right now. He will be behind on the immortal count, but yeah, we're going to see oxygen begin the push right now. He's got the zealot warp in here on the bottom left. But we also see a lot of sentries here. But again, this is a huge ramp for force fields. So we'll see how exactly this plays out. He's going to need some more units, though, if he wants to hold this off.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tight. The 3 immortals for sure will just do so much damage. Even if you can just push him back up the ramp, he can take out that natural pretty easily. Oxygen's getting his own behind it, too. So I think that's pretty much his goal here. Just get rid of the natural, force him back onto 1 base, and then take an economic lead. He's supply blocked. Oh, no. Well, that's the one thing that could undermine this push.
Yeah, he needs that reinforcement wave. Well, here we go. Yeah, 3 immortals, bunch of zealots. Lead with the zealots, maybe.
I think this is a 4 force field ramp, so I don't know if he's gonna have enough time to do that. Yep, nope. Time warp.
This is done. This is gonna be a very push right here. Yeah, that was a pretty decent force field there.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Those mortals out. Meanwhile, trying to deal with these zealots as well. It's going to take care of all of those. Meanwhile, the photon overcharge is doing work. Yeah, looks like oxygen backs out.
He's going to come back in almost immediately. He needs to kill this base. Oh, wow, back home a single zealot has been warped in. It's just harassing the natural even. which, if nothing else, is constantly making this blinking thing appear on his mini-map, and it's going to distract the heck out of him. So it probably won't be much more beyond that, though. Anyway, 3 Immortals to the front, getting focused down actually pretty hard here.
He didn't focus down the Immortals of Tim, and he's just able to take care of everything that's... I mean, even though he had that Immortal advantage, he lost it because he wasn't attacking the correct units. Yeah, I think Tim handled this pretty well. I don't think Oxygen's going to be able to break this.
This one Zealot has nearly ripped off all the shields on the Nexus.
Going to continue to do so because all the reinforcement weapons are down here at the bottom. It looks like he's actually... Okay, he's taking off home. He realizes he can't do too much more damage. Tim, I think he's actually... I mean, he's taking the lead now.
Yeah, he's doing a very nice... this is one of those builds that works really well. It's just that if you can get this fast expanded with an army up like this, it'll hold off a lot of these early pushes pretty nicely. I only know this from the experience of having them held off.
Look at
I don't know how you execute it personally.
Oxygen opting to go with 2 Stargates and a Robo Bay. I don't know how I feel about the Robo Bay, or I guess you can go either way. But I mean, this is going to be stretching his resources pretty thin here.
I wonder what. Yeah, I wonder what that's for. It could be. No, it doesn't make any sense. Like I was thinking, Warp Prisms maybe. Like maybe he wants Warp Prism speed.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not gonna make any sense because he won't really have a ground army. Like maybe some Zealots. By the way, Warp Prism speed is hilarious. It's like a constantly boosted medevacs.
Yeah, canceled the Robo Bay too.
Okay, so that was probably maybe that was just an error.
Yeah. And Tim dropping down that 3rd base as well as an additional 2 gateways and a photon cannon. Doesn't want to fall prey to the DTs, of course. Oxygen's just now saturating his natural expansion and dropping the 2 additional assimilators there. So the gas income definitely in Tim's favor right now, and will continue to be once he gets the gas here with the 3rd. So Tim doing a very good job of staying ahead on the economy. Very superb macro right now.
That he is.
But yeah, Oxygen, 2 Void Rays out and 2 more on the way. You know, I think if he's going to start to get up to the point where there's a ton of Void Rays.
Warp Prisms.
Yeah?
He's going to warp in right on top of the army. This is not a good idea. Yep.
Yeah, he's just like, screw that, let's get out of here.
By the way, Ian, I do see you. Hi, buddy. They hurt. Don't worry, we saw you.
Why, hello. Keep an eye on the chat, but if there's things to talk about in game, won't necessarily reply too quickly.
Oh, I think he was referring to everybody else in chat.
Oh,
they're all like, "Hi, trumpet, hi, and hi." He's ignoring me. But there you go, buddy. We're not ignoring you.
We have 5 Void Rays right now, with air weapons level 1 on the way. I don't know.
Hey, look what this Warp Prism's gonna find. It doesn't even get the warp in on.
That is bad.
And there's the big warp, the desperation warp in Stalkers, where, as a Protoss player, where you're like, oh, flying things, make things that shoot up. Oh, Stalkers are not what I want.
He's actually dropping into Templar Archives right now, so we'll see. Archon, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got a ton of Stalkers here.
I think I like Archon if he can get over there pretty quick. And have to basically warp him in at that pylon he's got up there.
We have the 3rd base going down for Oxygen. The Void Ray number is just going to skyrocket. It's going to make these Immortals pretty much null and void at that point. Yeah, we're seeing lots and lots of Stalkers come out of Tim.
Now, there's the situation where the Stalkers do win, and that's if the Void Rays are not microed correctly.
Yeah, I mean, he's also researching Blink that'll help him out there, and he is ahead on the upgrades as well.
Blink is so tough to use against Void Rays. They die like the Stalkers will die almost immediately. So like the instant they get targeted, you have to blink them. If he can pull that off though, like it could work. It's gonna be a little tough.
It also opens up a lot more avenues for harassment as well. So
that is true.
Maybe not necessarily helping him out in the direct fights themselves, but we'll see how he actually employs it. 3 Archons. They're ready to go. And yeah, 3-3 is on the way. So Tim, definitely props to Tim for getting up on his upgrades. I mean that's definitely one of the most important things. Looks like Oxygen's still bucking out Void Rays.
Tim's gonna go straight for the rocks. Blow him down.
He's
Just run right in.
Powerful push.
Or yes, he is good. No, he's not.
He's backing out. He's tentative.
I don't know, man.
He's like shit. I forgot there were rocks there. We have to go around.
Oh, come on, somebody break them down. They've only got 2,000 health. It's just a Nexus. You got 4 Immortals. Just go kill them. Kill those rocks. They're not in your way. But that's just me. I really want to see someone to utilize that little effect back. It's actually, this is the funny thing. Even though people are, like I always point out, it's a double entrance ramp with rocks, but nobody ever breaks these really. Like,
yeah, it's basically a wall.
Almost inevitably, unless there's like, you could even even if you tried to sit some lings or something, if you were playing against the Zerg and you just kind of tried to break it down, you just stick something right there. It's such a fast response. Like, I think unless the whole army's there, you're probably never going to get to see that broken down.
Yeah. So the only upgrades we see from Oxygen right now are the +1 weapons to the air units that we have. Obviously, a lot of Void Rays here. He's got 12. That's a lot. At the same time, we do have the Stalkers at 3-3, so that's definitely going to help them out. 3-3 with Blink.
Versus armored 17 damage per shot. It's a lot, actually.
Definitely.
Here we go. Basically, they are shooting prismatic alignment at the moment, numerically speaking.
Still a lot of Void Rays. Void Rays have a bit of a faster attack speed, but
yeah.
Wait,
so once again, I was gonna say once again for sure, he definitely has the ground engagement. So let's see how well he can deal with the Void Rays.
Yeah.
Looking forward. Okay.
Everything is firing right now. He's taking a lot of damage. He's losing a lot of these Stalkers. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Not with this push, no. He's done a lot of damage to the Void Rays, though, and it's a lot easier to refill on Stalkers, as we are seeing.
Stalkers flanking.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to reinforce on Stalkers than it is on Void Rays, just because of how long they take to build up.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
G from Oxygen, Tim, tying this up. Now, it's effectively a best of 1 now, because we are at 2-2. Very well done by Tim. Yeah, I think losing the 3-gate robo push from Oxygen just threw him off. You know, it's always a pretty shitty position to be in when you try to all in and it doesn't really work out for you. You got to figure out what can I do now to get back into the game.
Okay.
So yeah, we are actually here at Game 5 on a map I've never heard of before, Way Station.
Mm-hmm. Way Station. I think this map is a little bugged, but I'll explain that as we go on to it.
Way Station, like the thing for trucks?
Kinda. Anyway, this is a forced cross-spawn 4-player map. So, thing is, I've only ever seen people spawn in one position, so I'm starting to wonder if there's something wrong with it, or if I'm really unlucky somehow. But like, it's just so strange that a coin would land on heads 10 times in a row, but it's possible.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for this new map. I have not experienced it yet. And what better time for this map than Game 5 in this Best of 5 series. And a PvP, my favorite matchup. So we'll get into the party here. Okie doke, so what time are we? We're at 8 o'clock right now, so this will likely be our final game of the series, or final game of, obviously the final game of the series, final game of the evening, excuse me. So yeah, let's hope it's a good one. Start the countdown here. Already been going for 4 hours, jeez.
Yeah, so many 3-0s today.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Every series but this one. Foss needs to work on his matchmaking skills.
Ha.
On the bottom left of Way Station, we have our green Protoss, Oxygen.
In the top right of the map, we have retaining his colors in the previous game. It is the powerfully infamous the Tim.
Yeah, I mean this series. I don't know who's gonna win. it seems like Tim kind of had a feel of how Oxygen plays and adapted pretty well to it.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, they kind of did the same things to each other, and like the same strategy that won the first 2 games won for the other guy instead. And it happened again. What is with this map? I've never seen anybody spawn top left and bottom right at all. I'm gonna be watching pro games real closely to see if the same thing happens to them, because this is real strange.
Interesting.
Anyway, here's the fun thing, right? Here's how this map works. Tiny rush distance if you're in bottom left, top right, but the chokes are real small. If you're bottom right, top left, the chokes are gigantic. But the rush distance
that is
pretty
kind of
close.
nuts. I mean, maybe they can't spawn in those positions. I don't know. I mean, it's
weird because
kind of crazy.
like I read the Battle.net article on these maps and they implied that you could. So I'm really like I don't get it. Like unless
I mean, if you got those opposite spawning points, it would almost be like a completely different map, a completely different game. You know, I mean, it's very close rush distance, as you were saying. You're on the top right and bottom left.
it is. I mean, it's pretty similar to Overgrowth actually. The only difference being is that there's so much wide space everywhere. This is another place where you can hide stuff pretty easily, and not as I don't think it's as nice as King's John Station on this, but it's definitely a map I think where we can see some proxies happen. Meantime, however, in the meantime, we have kind of the same thing rolling out. Looks like both of these guys favor the 14 gas into 18 gas after the Cyber Core build.
Yeah.
The reason you go for that, by the way, is it gives you basically a Stalker and a Mothership Core. So
Pretty
it's good.
standard, yeah.
It's a good setup for defensive-ish play.
Neither player deviating too much from the norm. Seems like they're both pretty comfortable with this sort of play style.
Oh, Oxygen confirming for us in the chat that he's played a game today with the other spawns. Good. I'm glad to hear that
Okay.
I somehow have weird luck.
Is it possible to get bottom left and top left? That'd
No.
be nuts.
You cannot. It's cross spawn zone.
Okay.
So yeah, there's no funky vertical spawns.
Reminds me of Metalopolis, where they did not have forced cross spawns. Remember Metalopolis? Liberty?
Yes, I do.
Where you could spawn close by air and you're literally like next door to each other, and you could just
Oh man,
rush Stargate and get a Void Ray in their base.
it's like Oracle. Now, like imagine that map nowadays
Yeah.
with the Oracles. It would be nuts. Or even just with like a middle Widowmine drop, you could get that in there so fast that
Yeah.
the player couldn't have protection.
Ridiculous. Glad those maps are not standard anymore.
But here's the funny thing though, is that I've noticed they started, for variety's sake, they've started to pick up some of the features of those weirder maps and put them back in. And I like the idea that they're trying to play with that. I like they're trying to find a way to make that happen rather than every map suddenly start to look the same.
Mm-hmm.
But
We also have a TC out already for Oxygen.
expansion? Alright.
Twilight Council and 3 gateways for Oxygen. Is it going to be the Dark Shrine?
I was going for Blink this time. Okay.
Oh, looks like, yeah, there's Blink, so it's going to be pretty interesting here.
4-gate Blink. This is very good against this, actually.
It's going to be a little delayed, but the Blink might make it worth it. We'll see how Tim is actually going to be prepared for this, if at all.
Unfortunately, he's setting up a wall off to help deal with his Zealot heavy play. Against Stalkers, you're actually just handing buildings to the other guy, because it's so far away from the Photon Overcharge, you can't protect him.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this is setting up for a timing, I think, for Oxygen pretty nicely here.
Yeah, setting out this initial Zealot, he's going to get a pretty good idea of what's going on here. He's also got that proxy pylon to the left of the main. Of course. And
So running forward to get an eye on what's going on up here.
I'm going to spot the wall off there and the unit composition thus far. Just a sacrificial Zealot.
He does see the 3 Zealots, though. I mean, that's a really big investment in gas. So he knows that
The 3
it's a little bit...
sentries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, the 3 sentries. He
No.
will... He sees the... I think he's thinking, look at Tim's gas. He's got a lot of gas now, but at that very moment when that was running in there, he's a little bit behind on that. He can't it's harder for him to go up to something like a Dark Shrine just because that basically costs 250 gas to get to.
Yeah.
So he knows that's going to not be hitting him yet, at least. Of course, when you're going for this play, you don't care. You kind of just hope he isn't going DTs, or you show up before they show up.
Looks like Tim's trying to be prepared for DTs with that photon cannon there, but he doesn't really have any idea what's about to
gonna blink around the side. There's a little space here where you can do this. He's just going to completely skip all these defenses.
That is very unfortunate for Tim, and he is not ready for that. It's going to happen.
Here we go. And the worst part about it is he doesn't even know that's there yet until they start shooting, pretty much. Oh.
I'm actually going to watch Tim and see how he shits his pants when he realizes what's going on there. Oh my god, my probes!
Well, he's attacking with the probes. No! Run away with the probes! You have an army!
He's got the photon overcharge, but obviously he can just blink right out there.
It's like
so he can't do it again.
Losing the mothership core hurts, but he brought him down to 15 workers. He's basically one basing now, and he's actually gonna try.
Not even sure if he can hold it through the front door as well.
Yeah, here comes the attack.
Pylon, and he's no longer going to be able to use his 2 gateways.
But here's like what I meant. I mean, he can just kind of sit up here, and if the army falls back, he just gets a couple free buildings, and that goes Pylon.
Exactly. He can't do anything about it.
And like he's even running forward with a stalker just to make sure he doesn't try to engage. He's going to lose another gateway. And with that, he just won't have to be able to reinforce very quickly.
He's only got 2 gateways left. He has a robo, but no immortals, unfortunately. He will have the upgrade advantage here shortly, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Definitely when he's cut down to two gates like this.
Photon overcharge kind of cuts this space in half a little bit, so it does buy him some time. But he needs to... I think the only thing that Tim can try for here is a compositional switch, like maybe grabbing a DT shrine, because he does have the Twilight right now, and if he can hold out long enough, your opponent basically can't have any kind of protection, but in any case, there's an engagement.
Tim's also just about supply block. Oh, well, no longer because he's losing a lot of units here. I mean, Photon Overcharge doing what it can.
Interesting use of hallucination here from Diesel to this opponent. Unfortunately, not enough, and Photon Overcharge is going to stop right there. Yep.
The Oxygen OP just showing us the Blink Micro as well. Attacks with all of the probes, loses all of the probes.
Down to 5.
Very unfortunate. He's going to be able to mop up the rest of these stalkers here, and this base is effectively useless to Tim. He has 1 immortal out, and can it deal with all these stalkers? My guess is no. Run away! Run.
Oh, I mean, even if he somehow did,
Fall back to the dome! Oh shit!
It's been blunked upon, and when that just kills you, that's when you know you're like,
yeah,
there's nothing I can do anymore. He's even just gonna sit outside the range of this, kill the robo, start killing pylons.
Not a very climactic final game in this series, but you know, Oxygen was just tired of losing. You know, looks like he decided to just pull something out that he hadn't used yet, that Tim would most likely fall to, and I guess it was just a 4-gate with Blink. And obviously, as we just saw, it was very effective. Tim didn't see it coming in the least.